Everyone, happy Friday. I'm so thankful and honored to be on this training. I know there's been some amazing trainings on here, and I just feel like it's such a pleasure to be able to share with you guys my tips today. So Joe had asked me to speak on the topic of effective leadership. And so I am a rambler. I tend to get fired up, and even when I say it's going to last 20 minutes, it ends up going 40 minutes. So I'm really going to try and stick to a 20 to 30 minute training here because I really want to respect your time and I want to get the most impact out of your time. So I'm just going to stick to the top 3 tips that I have for effective leadership. Thanks for joining, you guys. So let me start by just saying that, even if you don't have a team yet, you have to start developing your leadership skills. You have to start leading, even if you don't have a team yet, because even if you don't have a team yet, you've opened a business. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Teresa. You've opened a business. So you have to start acting as if you are a leader. You have to start developing those skills, and because you are leading your friends and family on your Facebook page. You are leading your challengers. You are leading your family, to a healthier lifestyle. You were meant to lead, and that's why you're in this business. So to live that life of purpose, yes, it's great to be able to make, a lot of money or to be a certain rank or whatever. Those things are great. But let me just tell you from the bottom of my heart, there is nothing better than being able to build a life by design and live with purpose. Hey, Amber. So, let me also just say with this training that no one's perfect, okay? I don't have it all figured out, and I don't think that any of the top coaches necessarily have it all figured out. And I certainly make mistakes in leadership all the time. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly learning from my own team and their feedback. When I do trainings and they give me feedback, I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback, because we have to learn and grow as leaders, and we all mess up. So no matter where you are, or what you've done, or how you feel like maybe you went wrong with your team or wrong with a particular team member or whatever it is, go back and apologize, have some communication, and move forward and grow stronger, smarter, better than you were before. Okay, so I just want to make sure you understand that. And so if you see my eyes start to wander, it's just because my notes are over here, and so I want to make sure I stay on track. So like I said, hey, Heather, I'm going to do 3 tips. And my first tip for you today in terms of effective leadership is leading with vision and belief. I know, you've heard it a million times, right? You've heard it over and over. But I cannot say enough how important it is that in everything you do, in your trainings, in your emails, in your group Facebook posts, that you are leading with this very, very strong belief in yourself, in this business, and in them, in your team, in what the overall mission is. That all your messaging, that is coming through, despite the changes that are going to happen in our business and in our lives, despite the sometimes negative things that are going to happen. If you are constantly and repeatedly throwing out vision and belief, it's going to be contagious to your team. So, we hear that, share vision, create vision, share belief, all that. We hear that all the time. What does that really, really mean? Like, what does that look like? Well, it means communicating to your team as a whole, and also to individual people, actual things that can happen, possibilities for them in their business or in their life, with their family, with their financial situation or whatever, communicating things that they don't see yet. Whenever I've accomplished something that I'm really, really proud of in my life, that I had to work so hard for, usually someone planted a seed within me that it was possible. Now, that's what we need to do. We need to plant that seed, that vision. If any of you have ever played sports, you know that it's important to visualize what's going to happen, right? It's important to visualize that you're going to hit the ball. It's important to visualize that you're going to make the basket. It's so powerful that what we actually see happening can come to fruition. And so that's what you have to do for your team. You have to talk to them about, hey, you're a coach right now, or you just lost your Emerald status. Let's talk about getting to Diamond before the year ends. Let's talk about getting to 1 star by February or March. Let's talk about getting to 2 star by May. Let's reverse engineer that, because I know you can do that. I know if you are 2 star by Summit, you can be 5 star by the end of next year and a 6-figure earner. And you just have to figure out who's willing to run with that. So, planting those seeds, that vision within people, when they may not have been able to see more than what's right in front of them this morning, which seems daunting. The fact that they just had 2 coaches quit, or the fact that they were just told, they're going to have to take on someone else's responsibilities at work, and they're going to have to work an additional 10 hours a week. Or the fact that, the AC unit in the house just went out, and now they've got another humongous bill they weren't expecting, and this big financial issue. How can you be that person? And you guys, we as leaders, we have to dig deep mentally to do this, because usually we're going through our own life situations, right? Nothing's going perfect in this household. Let me just tell you that. We are going through things too. And so it takes this mental energy and this mental strength. And that's why I always say, I feel like anyone can become a great coach and a great leader. But there's one thing that I can't teach, and that is that you have to truly care about people. You have to be successful in this business, you have to truly love lifting others up. You have to. That's one thing we can't do without in this business. And so, we have to pick ourselves up and dig deep to find that mental strength to lift someone else up. And in the process, you will lift yourself up, and you will feel that reward and that fulfillment, because you've just planted vision within someone else, and now you're like, okay, I need to look in the mirror and go, what can I do, and what can I do better, and what are my goals? So that's what I mean. And also, when we talk about vision and belief, and really, constantly repeating that amongst our team members and our team, part of that is when a negative event happens, a situation within the team, something that Beachbody changes, whatever it may be, you have to be the one that sets the tone, the positive tone. You have to be the one that says, let's look at the positive aspect of this, you guys. You have to be the one that takes the higher road. Okay, you can't be reactionary. When change happens, you have to be the one that is willing to adapt to change and look at why it's changing and the benefits and the positive aspect of it. You have to be the one that does that. So the other thing is, how exactly do we be continually communicating these things? Because some of you might be saying, look, I have a team page, and it's like crickets in my team page all the time. I get that. Okay, I like to, and I've always done this, but, have several lines of communication, because someone might not be paying attention to the team page, but they might be someone that opens your email, or they might be someone that responds to your text, or they might be someone that responds to your voice memo. So have different lines of communication, because as you're repeatedly putting your belief out there and vision out there, there are different people who respond differently, and at different times in their life are ready to absorb the information. Have you ever noticed that someone will do a training and one of your team members will be like, oh my gosh, that just was a light bulb moment for me. And you're like, okay, but I've said that 10 times. You don't say that, of course, but you're like, I'm so glad that, that resonated with you, when at the same time you're like, but I've said that. How did they not hear that? They just didn't. They didn't open that email. They didn't watch that training where you said that. They didn't read that group Facebook post where you said that. Okay, so that it just is what it is. Be happy for them and run with that now willing person, right? So you have to be repeatedly putting things out there and putting, training in different ways, so that these things can resonate with them. Like some people, they really only learn with visual aids. And then other people, they really just like audio. And then other people really just like to read the document. So people learn in different ways and they're ready to absorb things at different times. So you just have to be really quite repetitive. Okay, so the how to put that out there is through your team groups, of course, and tag your leaders and say, share this with your team. And then obviously team emails, you should have, if you don't use like Constant Contact or some type of third-party email source, you should have at least, a list of your coaches' emails so you can copy and paste and email them when you need to. I email my coaches about once or sometimes twice a week, and I really try and only do that when it's something that, they need to know. The other one obviously is text, and then voice memos is huge. People just hearing your voice is, I just think that's really, really important. So, when my coaches get to a certain point in their business, I make sure that we've got voice memos going back and forth between each other. And here's the other thing I want to say about crickets. Getting crickets from team emails that you've spent time putting together, or crickets from a Facebook post that you've put together for your team, or doing a training for your team that you've spent all this time preparing and no one shows up. That kind of stuff can sting if you let it. I have to use a quick analogy. I used to teach fitness classes. I taught fitness classes for a long time. And I remember, I'm trying to think who taught me this, probably Shalene, that, when you walk into a room to teach your class and you've got 2 people that have shown up and you've just spent at least 2 hours preparing to teach for this class and getting kind of stressed about it and, making sacrifices with your family to get to that class and to be there on time and to have your stuff ready, and you get there and 2 people have shown up. And this specifically happened to me when I first moved back to Toledo, and I taught my first Turbo Kick class in Toledo. And the Group X instructor said, hey, good luck with this because people just don't like kickboxing here in Toledo, but we'll give it a shot. So 2 people showed up, and I taught my class with as much energy as I possibly could, gave it all I could. The next week, I had 3 people show up. And part of me, and I had put up the week after, a couple weeks before, I'd been put up flyers. I'd been busting my butt to promote this class. And then, so 3 people showed up. And I thought, okay, I could get really bummed about this and that person who said they were coming to this class and didn't show up. Or I can give these 3 people my all because they did show up. How unfair is it to them that I scale back and I bring my energy level down and I'm bummed and I start like, all right, it's just the 3 of us, let's do this. How do they feel? Yet how would they feel if I'm like, yes, you made it, awesome, high five, let's do this, let's crank the music, let's go, right? Make those 3 people feel amazing. Make them leave the room going, I've got to tell so-and-so, she's got to be at this class next week. I got to tell my friend, I've got to bring my friends, or whatever. Same thing with your team trainings, you guys. You have to bring it, even if it's just one person that shows up. Okay, so my second tip is that you have to set the example. Duh, right? But I want you to really, really think about that, what that means, and you setting the example, and you setting the tone, and you setting the pace. I already talked about the fact that you have to be the one that shows that you adapt to change. Changes within our Beachbody business, changes within social media, changes within the team culture, whatever it may be, changes within policies. You have to show that you are willing to adapt to change and that you understand. Maybe you don't even understand the reasons behind it, but that you see the positive in it and you see how the team and you are all going to move forward. We have to be the ones that are adapting to change first, and that sets the example for the entire team. We have to be the ones that are showing up on social media as well. I'm sure you've noticed that whatever you don't do, your team doesn't do, right? Just like when Success Club first came out, I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was. I didn't take the initiative. I was being a bad leader. I didn't take the initiative to fully research it. I was just kind of like, I get very focused And that can be a really, really good thing, and it can be a bad thing. And I get real independent too sometimes, and just blinders on, this is where I'm going, right? And Success Club was going on all around me, and I was just kind of ignoring it. Well, sure enough, since I didn't understand it and I wasn't training on it, my team had no clue what it was. And it was some other coach from another team that was like, gosh, yeah, thank goodness for Success Club, because my team is just like having so much more success now that we have Success Club, and they're hitting Success Club every month, and it's making a huge difference in my team and in my business. And I was like, whoops, I don't even know what Success Club is. And so therefore, none of my team was hitting Success Club at that time. This is when it first came out. So sure enough, right then I was like, dang, I got to get on this, like times 10. So I started researching Success Club and putting together some tools, and I right away did a webinar, and I was like, you know, I had to just move forward, but admit that I had made a mistake, and what you don't do, your team is not going to do. So if you're not getting on the trainings that your upline is putting out there, neither is your team. If you're not getting on the national wake-up calls every Monday and talking about those, and you know, talking about them in your posts and in your team posts and in your trainings that you do or whatever, your team knows, and they're not getting on it either. So your team is going to mimic, you know, what you do. And, you know, if you want them to set the bar high, you got to set the bar high. And if you want them to, you know, get to Emerald by the end of this month, look at yourself. Did you add 2 coaches yet? You can't expect them to have added 2 coaches in the last 2 weeks. You haven't added 2 coaches yet, right? Think about that. You know, you've got to be, you can't just be like expecting other people to be doing these things without going, wait a second, am I doing that? Am I really doing that too? I know it's a tough thing, and I feel it. It, you know, it's not easy to lead, right? But it sure is cool when you do start leading and you see other people having success, even more success than you maybe, and it's just like, that's awesome. I had a part of that. So also, as far as, you know, you leading and being the example, you also have to show that you value your time. You know, there's this business can completely soak up your 24/7 if you let it. And so it's a tough balance, but you have to figure out, and I'll talk about in a minute, you know, in terms of like where to spend your time as a leader, with who and why, and what, you know, all of that. But you have to show that you value your time too. So, you know, be showing that you make tough decisions and sacrifices for your business and for your team. Be showing that you do that. Be showing that you make tough decisions and sacrifices for your family. Because obviously you want your coaches to love what they do, but to be able to put their families first, right? And I tell Beachbody all the time, like I just had to turn down the Superstar Diamond weekend because of a family event that I want to be at, and they understood. I'm like, I can't be truthful in saying that family is first and that I have choices if I don't make these hard choices myself. And so that's what I do, and you got to be showing that. You have to be, hold on, let me look at my notes right there. Oh, you have to be the one that tests the waters. Sorry, I had to look at my notes because I knew it was an important one, but I couldn't read my writing. You have to be the one that tests the waters. So that's what a leader does, right? They are the ones that steps out of their comfort zone first. They're leading, so they go first, even though it's scary, right? So, you know, you might be the first one in your team that tries a new approach on training, or tries a new type of a, you know, push to diamond group, or a new type of a coach training, or a new whatever, a new visual aid, or a new a way of, you know, posting about the business opportunity. I remember I did something where I compared the business opportunity to, you know, Help Wanted and Fitness Coaches Wanted, and I actually, you know, talked to my team about it. And the next thing I know, I think it was Mindy Wender. She had done a post saying Help Wanted, and she approached it, the business opportunity, as a, you know, look, we're looking for fitness people. And, you know, just testing the waters, trying new things, being original. That's what a leader does. And I really try and tell my team, you know, look, this is something I'm just testing. I'm not training you on this yet because I don't know if it's going to work. It might completely flop, or at the moment it is flopping. I'll let you know when it works. So we have to test the waters. Okay, my third and final tip. I hope I'm not going over time. Third and final tip is to equip everyone. You know, because one of the things that a lot of us struggle with in the business is, who do we spend our time with? Like, it stings so badly when we invest in someone and we believe in them, and it's like, it's deep in our gut, we believe in them and we spend time on them, and it's even like, it's sometimes even emotional and this whole thing, and then all of a sudden they're MIA. They just decide they don't want to do this anymore. And we're human. That's gonna sting. At least for me it does, because it wasn't fake. I believed in this person. Like, I saw their future. That vision I planted, it wasn't fake. It was real. I saw it. I believed in it. And now they don't. And that can really sting. And so for any of you that have experienced that, I feel you. It's a part of this business. And so it's not that that doesn't happen to myself or any of the top coaches out there. It happens to everyone. It's just that as you continue to grow your team, as you continue to bring on new people that are excited, and as you continue to accept that you can't control what you can't control, and that is unfortunately a part of the business, that some people will believe for 1 minute or for 6 months or for a year and then not believe. That's a part of this. And you just never know. You can't predict who's going to be gung-ho and stay there for years, and who's going to be gung-ho and take off, you know, right from the get-go, and then fall off 3 months later or 6 months later. You can't. I wish you could predict that. I wish there was something like, hey, you guys, if they do this or if they don't do this, that's your sign. I have come to learn there's no sign, because I've had some people that are like, you know, didn't really hardly do anything in the beginning and had a very, very slow start. Really, you know, essentially just worked it for the discount. I mean, just were in for the discount, even though they said they weren't. They said they wanted this, and they said they had these big dreams and goals and blah, 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 but they literally didn't do anything at all, never got on a training, didn't respond to my emails, like nothing, okay? And then took off with the business. Like 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later. Like, how could I have predicted that? I don't think I could have predicted that. I don't think I could have predicted that. Yet I've had other people that right from the get-go, like, went Emerald and made Success Club, and then the next month made Success Club, and the next month made Success Club. They were Success Starter. They're working towards Diamond. They're getting on every single training. They're pumping other people up. Their posts are amazing. Oh my gosh. Now they're Diamond. And then all of a sudden, they don't want to work the business. And it's like, what? I mean, it's not something I can control. And all I can do is, you know, try and figure out what's behind this decision. And, you know, it's not my decision, it's their decision. And while I might not agree with it, or maybe I do even think it's the right thing for that person, I don't know. But the point is, I can't then go, okay, from now on, I'm not going to invest in people. I'm not going to believe in people until they're at least Diamond. Or I just can't do that. We can't do that. If you do that, you will miss out on so many people that have so much to give in this business. And they need you to believe in them right from the get-go and plant that seed of vision right from the get-go, no matter who they are. They need that. And so, you know, my point with this third one is equip everyone. Believe in everyone, okay? But don't push anyone. So that's a really hard thing to balance. Believe in everyone. Equip everyone. Even those people that say, I think I just want to be in this for the discounts. Include them in, you know, a challenge group that you do. Include them in like a team fun thing that you're doing. Include them in the emails. Include them in the vision. Okay, unless they specifically say, I don't want to get any of those emails. I don't want to know what's going on. But I've never had anyone say that, to be honest. They usually, like, if they don't want to open the emails, that's fine. But so equip everyone, believe in everyone, but push no one, okay? So what I mean by push no one is, you know, yes, we want to, for the people that are willing, that are excited, that are motivated, we want to challenge them. I like the word challenge. And so if I've got someone that's like, oh my gosh, right there to diamond, I'll be like, dude, you are so close. I mean, do you realize, look at your sponsorship drill down. Do you realize you just need 3 things to happen and you are there? Like that can happen by next week, Wednesday, diamond. And then we move on to 1 star. Let's focus on so-and-so going diamond, and these other people that are interested in working the business, getting them up and running, like, having some kind of, exciting training group that you're offering for these 3 or 4 coaches that are in it, right? And by next spring, you could be 2-star diamond or 3-star diamond with these people that you've got right here. You do have to continue to recruit though, because again, that one person that you think is going to be great, they may decide in December to quit. You never know. But my point is that you are, giving them this belief and giving them this vision. And so I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. Yeah, you have to just accept what you can control, and you can't push it on them. You can just challenge them, okay? But if you're sensing that they don't really want this and they're just doing this to appease you, that can backfire, because then what happens is they get to diamond and they feel they just don't feel fulfilled. They don't feel necessarily good about it. So, you want to make sure that you're challenging them to, not just see a rank or not just see a dollar amount, but to see, like I said, that vision of, maybe it's quitting their full-time job by next spring. Maybe it's, being able to, pay off the house by next summer, or whatever that may be. Giving them a longer-term vision with some short-term, little goals and action steps along the way. So challenging them without pushing them. And I'll be honest, it is hard to know where is that line, okay? And so the other thing is you have to understand that you always have to be adding to your team. If you plan on having a successful business, you always have to be adding to your team. And so that means in order to not feel like you have to push this person into going diamond, or you have to push this person into getting to emerald, or you have to push this person into getting active, in order to not find yourself in those situations, you have to be continually adding to your team. And that's how I stay true to my word to my coaches, that it's their business and they can't negatively impact me. The only way that that's true is if I continue to add to my team. Because if I just have, if I want to be emerald and I just have 2 coaches, oh my gosh, I need you 2 to be active. I need you, right? I need you. You have to. I'm going to push you to get active, whether it's you want to or not, right? No. I continually add, and work with the willing, and work with the willing, and work with the willing. Then I'm not in a situation where like, I need you to be diamond, or else I'm not going to hit 2-star in that business center or whatever. The only way I can stay true to that and not get those feelings and not get those, emotions that like someone is maybe negatively impacting my rank or my income or my business or anything like that, I have to just stay back with what I love, and that is that I love this business. I love what it does for myself and my family. I love what it does for my team and my leaders. I need to share that with everyone else, other people, and let them experience what this business can do for you as a person, as a leader, as a well-rounded person with confidence. That's what it's done huge for me. I have to share that with everyone. Always. It's my responsibility to let people know about an amazing opportunity. Always. I don't stop once I get to a certain rank. I don't stop. I have to continually be putting the opportunity out there. I have to be continually bringing new people on, because this person or that person, they are going to end up falling off. I'm sure you guys, if you've ever heard one of my trainings before, I always say that only 10 to 20% of your team end up engaging. 10 to 20%. So 10%, obviously, I'm always trying to move more to the 20% are engaging. So I'm always trying to become a better leader. What can I do better? What can I learn better? What can I do better? So that it's more like 20% are engaging. But even of that 10 to 20% of your team that are engaging, of that 10 to 20%, so let's say it's 15%. So let's say you have 30 personally sponsored coaches. I think that ends up being like 4 or 5 coaches that are like engaged, that are really, really engaging, right? If you have 30 personally sponsored, that's like 4 or 5 that are engaging. So if you have 15 personally sponsored, maybe you have 2 that are engaging. That's totally normal. You just need to keep adding more to so that you have 4. If you want 4 people engaging and you've got 15 coaches right now, add another 15. I can almost guarantee you'll have at least 2 more now that are now excited and engaging, right, in the business. But even from that percentage of people that are engaging, there's a smaller percentage. I would say it's maybe like 25% of the engaged, willing, and motivated group, maybe 25% that stay engaged and motivated to become like 2-star and beyond. Maybe 25%. So that would be like, out of those, let's say you've got 30 personally sponsored coaches, you've got like 4 who are engaged and motivated and like getting to Emerald or working towards Diamond, or maybe even one of them is Diamond or whatever. You've got like 4 of them right now at this moment in time. There's probably like 1 of them that's going to end up becoming 2-star and beyond. So it's just, that's what I've seen in my own business and in my leaders. It tends to be that way. And so I think the faster you can learn to accept that, the less stress you get about that. That it's not, these aren't necessarily factors in your control. It's not your fault. They have other factors going on in their life or whatever. So those are my 3 tips. Okay, so number 1 was be repeatedly conveying and communicating your vision and belief repeatedly. Number 2 was you have to be setting the example and the pace for your team. You have to be. And then number 3 is you have to equip everyone. You have to believe in everyone, but you don't need to push anyone. And so with that, I want to kind of have like a call to action, and that is, if you do have a team, even if it's 2 people, 1 person, even if it's your challenge group or whatever, and you feel like maybe you haven't had the energy or the passion or the leadership that you felt you could have, do something today that says, I'm drawing a line in the sand and I have new information and here's where I'm going. Who's in? And that's what I did when I was about 6 months into my business and I was really struggling. I had like, I don't know, maybe a dozen coaches so far. And I was like, why are so many of them not opening my emails or getting on my trainings or anything? Like I was like, why am I such a bad leader? And I went to a training where I learned from a network marketing guru, and he said, stop trying to motivate the unmotivated. He said, it has to be within them. You have to continually grow your team. I was like, okay, I get that. He's like, continue to equip them. Don't give up on them. Don't lose hope in them. Continue to equip them and give them that belief. But continue to grow your team. Don't stop growing your team. And I was like, okay. So I felt so much better. And so I want you, and he said, draw a line, do a rally the team type of call. And so I did. I scheduled a call for it was like 7 a.m. on a Saturday. And I said, if you open this email, you're in this. Awesome. I'm doing a team call, very special, 7 a.m. on a Saturday, just so they could say that they probably didn't have any plans. And I said, get on that. If you can get on that live, it won't be recorded. And so in that call, I said, this is what I've learned. This is where I'm going with my business. And I believe in you guys. And, it's just a pump them up type of call. I said, I've got new information. I feel better as a leader now. I feel better knowing how to equip you. And I said, I need to know who's in. And I announced in that call, I said, I'm going to be doing I think it was a fast track team I was starting. And I said, I'm going to be doing that, and I need you to let me know right after this call. Email me, text me, whatever. Let me know who's in. Who's in? Who am I working with? And I had some people that came out of the woodwork that hadn't been doing anything that were like, I'm in. I need to do this. You're right. I need to do this. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope that was helpful. Please, let me know in this group if you have any questions at all, and I'd love to know if it was helpful or anything that you think I missed. Thanks so much, and have an amazing Friday. We'll see you later.